Chinese, welcome back. So today we are making a Year of the Ox roll cake to celebrate the Lunar New Year and the Year of the Ox. So let's get started. So first we're going to make the pattern of the cake. You want to beat some butter with an electric mixer until it's light and fluffy. Add some sugar and beat until well combined. Then add the egg whites and vanilla extract and beat until combined. And I'll have all the ingredients and quantities listed in the description box down below. Then you want to add some flour and mix on low speed. Then add a couple drops of black food coloring and mix together. Line a Swiss roll pan with some parchment paper. Then spoon the black batter onto the parchment paper and make a cow pattern. So you don't have to be too exact with this, just don't make it too thick because this batter is much more dense than the other cake batter that we're going to be adding later. So if you make it too thick, the cake won't roll up very nicely. So you just want to make them as thick as you need it to be to make them opaque, if you know what I mean. Then transfer the pan to the freezer and freeze for 30 minutes. Then to make the other cake batter, beat 6 egg whites and some salt with an electric mixer until soft peaks form. Add half of the sugar and beat until stiff, glossy peaks are formed. In a separate bowl, beat the egg yolks and remaining sugar with an electric mixer until pale and doubled in volume. Gradually add the vanilla extract and butter and mix until well combined. Then add some flour to the batter in 2 additions, alternating with the egg whites. Pour the batter into the Swiss roll cake pan on top of the pattern. Gently smooth the surface and bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 13 to 15 minutes until the edges are golden. Dust a large sheet of wax paper with some confectioner sugar, and as soon as the cake comes out of the oven, invert it onto the wax paper. Peel off the top layer of parchment paper and place another layer of wax paper on top, and then flip the cake over again so that the pattern side is now facing down. And starting at one long end, gently roll the cake up. Then wrap it in a kitchen towel and cool completely. So now we're going to make the filling. You want to beat some whipping cream with an electric mixer until soft peaks form. And it whips best when it is chilled, so keep it in the fridge until right when you need it. Then add some confectioner sugar and vanilla extract and beat until stiff peaks form. Then we're going to add some clementine jam and fold to combine. So I made this recipe years ago on YouTube, so I'll link the recipe in the cards and in the description box for you. But if you don't want to make it, you can just use marmalade. Then gently unroll the cake and peel off the wax paper. Then spread the filling into the cake and roll the cake back up again. Then wrap the cake in plastic wrap and chill it in the fridge for 4 hours or up to overnight. Next, we're going to make some chocolate lucky envelopes. So you want to place the red candy melts into a microwave-safe bowl and microwave for 30-second intervals until they are melted. Then just pour them out onto a sheet of parchment paper and spread them out until they are 1/4 inch thick. And we're using candy melts instead of regular chocolate because they are much easier to handle and it's going to be a way easier time for you when we're sticking them onto the cake. Then use a sharp knife to draw squares into the candy melts while they are still wet. And then you want to do this again once the candy melts have almost set. And so this is going to make it so much easier to break the candy melts apart and keep them into nice clean squares. And so in the video you see that I use a wide skewer, but a sharp knife works way better. Then leave the candy melts to set at room temperature, or you can pop them into the fridge if you like, to chill for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then once they're hard, we are going to melt some yellow candy melts. Pop them into a piping bag fitted with a small round piping tip and pipe the symbol for luck onto the red squares. So I'm gonna try to find like a YouTube video showing how to write it. If you are unfamiliar, writing it in the proper stroke order will make it look the best if you're not familiar with writing Chinese characters. So if you're planning on making this and you've never written them before, I definitely recommend checking out that link that I will put in the description box down below because it'll help so much. Then just set them aside until they are ready to use. Next, make the topping. In a medium-sized bowl, beat some butter and cream cheese with an electric mixer until it's light and fluffy. Add some vanilla extract and beat until combined. Then add some confectioner sugar and mix until light and fluffy. Place a large star-shaped piping tip, I used a number 2D piping tip and I'll link it down below, in a 2-egg piping bag, and spread half of the buttercream vertically onto one half of the piping bag. Then dye the remaining buttercream black and then spin the black buttercream into the remaining half of the piping bag so it looks like basically 2 vertical stripes when you're holding up your piping bag. And then just pipe it back into the bowl until you see both colors come out, because that'll ensure that when you pipe it onto your cake, you'll be seeing both colors. Then to decorate the cake, first use a serrated knife to trim off the ends of the roll cake just to make it look nice and clean. And pop the cake onto your serving platter. Then pipe buttercream swirls on top of the cake. And so you could use whipped cream for this instead of making the buttercream, but the buttercream will hold its shape much better than the whipped cream. So that's why I decided to use buttercream here. Then stick pairs of cashews into the buttercream as cow horns, and we are using 1 set of horns for basically each slice of cake that you imagine slicing into the cake. Then just top with some gold edible glitter and the lucky envelopes, and you are done! So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you liked this recipe. I'll link last year's recipe in the cards for Year of the Rat. I made little sugar cookies and I think they're so cute, so I definitely recommend checking them out, even though it is no longer 2020, thankfully. If you haven't yet, definitely hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys on Monday for a whole new video, because I'm actually doing theme week next week for Valentine's Day. I haven't done one in so long and I can't wait. So I will see you guys on Monday. Bye!